Welcome back to the Smoky Vale. Today, what are we going to be doing? Well, last time on a video I had teased trying out the Firebird blend. I showed it in the video. I didn't actually open this tin. I tried the GLP's Fillmore, which was fantastic. And yeah, I think we're gonna go with Firebird. Oh look, I have an animal in here. Hi, you're so silly. Yes. This is not for you though. Nope. Okay. Welcome in everybody to the Smoky Vale. If you haven't been here before, thank you for watching the video. Smash the like button if you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so you can get updates when I post new content. So this Firebird blend, just to tell you a little bit about it, when I saw this batch released from Cornell and Diehl, this small batch, I have to say there was nothing about it that made me say, oh my gosh, I have to have it. Except for the fact that as a content creator, I figured, well, people were going to want to know about it, and I mean, I'll try it, but it didn't jump off the page to me as something that I would have gone out of my way to get. So let me read you the description, and if you haven't tried this yet, let me know your thoughts and below as we go through this here. Again, I have not opened this tin, so we'll be, as the Viking Piper puts it, popping the top on this. So this is Cornell and Diehl's small batch blends are handcrafted in small quantities by our expert blenders right here in South Carolina. A majestic blend of the finest heirloom Orientals and Dark-Fired grades, Firebird Flake highlights the often overlooked nuance and complexity between these two condimental varieties. So they're talking about the Dark-Fired and Oriental. Enhanced by specially aged red Virginia tobaccos for a naturally sweet, subtly spicy, and incredibly balanced profile with hints of citrus, baked goods, wood smoke, and green pepper. And I think when I read that and I saw, when I saw like citrus and green pepper, I was like, I like citrus. I don't know if I want something that is green pepper-like to me in a tobacco, but okay. It was a little strange, but that's all right. So the components here, we have a Turkish Izmir from 2005, which the Turkish Izmir actually makes up 60 to 7% of their crop. And it's something that's going to give you a sweet, tangy element to it, kind of a little sour note, which is fine. Actually, I enjoy Turkish Izmir. It is lighter on the nicotine content, but like I said, it's the majority of their tobacco sales. And then you have Samsun, which is also another Turkish blend from the Black Sea side, I believe, of Turkey. And this is a 2005 varietal. Let's see. So the Samsung, Samsun. No, there is no Samsung tobacco. That would be that'd be weird. But anyway, Samsun tobacco. That leaf, I believe, also gives you like a sweet, nutty note. So you get that nuttiness. You'll get nuttiness from the Dark-Fired. And then, yeah, so we've got 2019 U.S. Semi-Fire Cured Kentucky. Okay, and then the 2015 Dark-Fired Kentucky. Now we have a 2015 Red Virginia TH-15, 2021 Red Virginia BF, what is that? BFS-21? Some of this stuff is so hard to read on this tin. My vision is 20/20, by the way, even without the glasses. So it's pretty bad if I'm struggling to read this stuff. But anyway. And we also have Red Virginia from 2021. That's the BLF. Oh, no, it's a 2. BLF 2-21. Okay. But as you can see from the tin here, right? So there's our components. But you know, I swear some of the stuff on these, like some of the font on this, like you can't even see it now. There we go. It's just like, that's got to be like 8-point font or something. It's crazy. I think the Firebird graphic is pretty cool. I think that's a neat element of it. Okay, well, let's see what we actually get out of this tobacco. And this is a flake. All right. I'm good with the flake. You know, might have to rub it a little bit. Okay. There's a bit of a sourness to it, like a sweet and sour note from the tin. And of course, we've got our little paper flaps in here, kind of seal things in. I just tear these out. Usually put this little guy back in here. It's a little smoky. Almost, not quite full on like Latakia barbecue, but there's definitely almost like a smoky citrus note. Man, I'll tell you what, if you had that and you put some Perique in here, I think this would be right up my alley. But then, you know, there I am as a vapor fiend. So there we go. That's a pretty nice looking flake. And, you know, I will say when they kind of pack it, where it's like each flake is horizontal. Like, good luck trying to get a full flake out of that. But this is kind of nice where it's just like laying on top for some of these. So I can actually like grab like a whole flake, or even like this guy. Grab that whole flake, which is nice. And you kind of see the leaf that's in there. That's pretty cool, right? All right, well, cool. Let me take that. We'll pack this up. You know what? Smoked out of my semi-church warden when Charles was here, which, by the way, if you didn't watch that video, it was a great time. I kind of stumbled a little bit. I'm not used to training somebody else on smoking from a pipe, so that was a little bit of a new experience for me, but it was a lot of fun. Great video. Please go check that out. Especially if you're new to the space and you want to learn a little bit, want to get started somewhere, that's a great starter video. So we'll smoke out of this. Yeah, I think that'll work. And man, what else do I have coming up while I rub this flake a little bit here? So I have been enjoying the GLP's blends, and since so many of you guys have recommended them, some of which those recommendations turned into me offering them on SmokyValePipeTobacco.com, I want to continue on reviewing those and see what else GLP's has to offer. Because so far everything has been top notch, and all of their stuff really feels unique. You know, handcrafted, doesn't quite resonate well enough to the nature of these blends, but I am going to be doing Piccadilly and the Ellipsis Flake, which I gotta say, you know, I do appreciate the artwork on this tin. It's beautiful. If you want to go take a look at it for yourself, like I said, it's on SmokyValePipeTobacco.com. You can check that out. But that's some of what's coming up. I also have a little thing to tease at the end here that I think you'll all enjoy. So, now that I've got this flake kind of rubbed down, go ahead and pack my bowl. But I will be doing another video with Charles. In fact, at some point here, we haven't scheduled a date yet, but as far as meeting up with him, as you know, the meadery, Forgotten Gods Meadery, which I do frequent because it's not too far away. We're probably going to go out there one of these weekends when we both have time. And and we'll meet up and smoke some bowls, have some delicious mead, and have a good time. And I'm sure the Viking Piper will find time in his busy schedule to meet us out there. And you know what? I just realized I don't have my lighter on me. Hold on. Through the magic of editing, I'm sure I'll make this seem like seconds. And I'm back. All right. Fantastic. Hopefully the audio is okay. The mic is so close to my beard. That can be a dangerous combination. Yeah. It's the only negative I have, that I can think of with having such a long beard is making your mic positioning can be difficult, can be a real challenge. You know what? Hold up. Wait a minute. I need to, let's see here. Yeah, you like that? A little pipe holding action from my jaw. So, I packed this too tightly. You know what? It's not my first time doing that with a flake. This is why I just prefer ribbon cut. But yeah, okay. There we go. Can't be sucking in a milkshake. It doesn't work. Okay. Okie dokie. You know, sometimes you get greedy with your tobacco. Some might say that you're smoking with your eyes, like eating with your eyes, right? You know, you're hungry and it's like, man, everything looks good. Don't ever shop at a grocery store hungry. That's how you mess up. Okay. Okay. The smoke's quite nice. It almost has a brown sugar note to it. Wow. This is definitely a sweet blend. Yeah, those Virginias marry really nicely with that Kentucky fired. There's a nice savory smoke to it. Again, it's not savory in the same way that like a Latakia is. It doesn't have that level of wood-fired component to it. It's not that smoky, but it is definitely, I'd say it's on the brighter side of a smoke. Give me a minute here. I gotta warm up this bowl. There's almost like some kind of fruit, which I'm sure is coming from the Virginias, but well, actually, Okay, I am getting that subtle spiciness it mentioned. Well, how about what? What you doing? We got a cat in the room here. Well, I will say it's definitely balanced. I don't know if I get baked goods. And actually, I got to think a little bit about that green pepper. I'm getting a nice level of ash on top here. Okay. Draw in. Once the bowl starts to warm up, I get the citrus to hit, and then it opens up into a green pepper-like or pepper-like flavor. That's interesting. It's wild how that type of flavor, that almost, you know, earthiness, it's smooth. It's a smooth blend, but with that's the sweet element from the Virginias, and definitely some of the Samson. I'd say it's a lighter blend overall, which is nice. I have so many blends that between all the toppings and some with some casings, but usually they're rather thick. There's rather a deep layer, or such a depth, a darkness almost to the flavors, that sometimes picking out those components can be difficult. But it also, you're almost left getting such a strong base note to the flavor that everything else, it's like a dressing. Which, I mean, again, it makes sense for the components, but this is really nice. And I gotta say, I mean, yeah, the condimental varieties that they put in here with those Orientals, they really do fit quite perfectly with this blend. I would not say baked goods. But I suppose it depends on what baked goods you're talking about. See, when I think baked goods, I just think like, you know, cookies, brownies, muffins. I don't know. Yeah, something along those lines. That's not what I'm getting out of this. It's not that type of sweetness, that, you know, sugary sweetness. Although, like I said, initially on the first few draws, I was getting what seemed like almost like a brown sugar, like a light brown sugar, not a dark molasses brown sugar. Whoa. Okay. When you really start getting this thing going, it's a little spicy. That's wild. And I mean like spicy pepper spicy. Now, I say that it's not lingering on the tongue. It's not like you just took some hot sauce to the mouth, but I'd say it's rather similar to a vapor on the retrohale. I like it, yeah. I will say the Kentucky Fired, which obviously is not just a straight burley. It's you lose some of that in there. It doesn't have that that same nutty cocoa-ness that you might get, but I think that's just because it's so well blended, and the that green pepper and that spiciness, now it's kind of dominating the smoke, which is interesting. I don't normally wear glasses on here, but I just got some new glasses finally after like 5 years. Hopefully these ones last just as long. Okay, now it's kind of back to being sweet. So the cooler the bowl, I find you get a little bit more of that fruity sweetness from the Virginias. And then when you really heat things up, you start to pick out that green pepper and that spice and this bright citrus note. Yeah. Well, that's a rather good blend. Well, I'm happily surprised because honestly, like I said, I wasn't drawn to the components of this blend. And don't get me wrong, Cornell Diehl uses Turkish Izmir in many wonderful blends, especially in the Old One series. It's used in there quite a bit. I believe Samsung plays a part in that as well. Yeah, no, this is quite good. Wow. Okay. Well, I don't know if you can still pick this tin up, but overall, yeah, it's a good smoke. And the tin note, like I said, it's sweet, but it's a subtle barbecue. Subtle. Very subtle. Very nice. Well. Well, as I said, coming up, we got some more blends from GLPs that I'll be trying, and with the St. Patrick's Day right around the corner, you might want to pick up yourself a kit of this Blend at Home Vale Stout. This is the closest thing to consider a house blend that we offer, except this isn't blended. It is pre-portioned in bags, ready to go with instructions and ingredients. And all you gotta do is essentially dump everything out into that big bag, mix it up by hand, and pack a bowl. Because unlike other tobacconists, I want to open source tobacco. I am not interested in hiding away blends that will live and die with me. That doesn't serve me. It's kind of like the adage, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, you teach a man to fish, you feed him for life. Kind of like that. But I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with those. I'm gonna start doing my blending videos where as I release these packages, I will do up a video for them. We'll be able to smoke a bowl together, talk about the overall flavor and aroma notes of these tobaccos, and really have some fun with it. So I have that, and then I also have another blend at home kit that we'll be releasing at the same time. That is the Vale Cream Swirl, which if you didn't see one of the most recent videos put out by the Viking Piper, I gave him a sample to try and he absolutely loved it. I knew he would because he is obsessed with Black Cavendish, and I still find it quite funny that he didn't know that Black Cavendish was not a tobacco, rather a process, but that's okay. That is one of the great things about pipe tobacco and tobacco overall, is that there's just so much to learn. Well, I'm going to finish smoking this up. Again, wonderful blend. It's a light, bright, subtly smoky blend with some interesting little pops of flavor in there. Well, until next time, guys, thanks for watching. As always, if you like the video, like the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so and smash that notification bell so you can get updates when I post content. See ya.